Look at this one. Hope you can hear. And look at this. Namaste. Welcome to Bhavna's kitchen. Today I'm making dosa. So let me show you how to prepare the basic batter for dosa first. To prepare the dosa batter, here I have the ingredients. Long grain rice, I'm taking 1.5 cups, basically 1.5 cups of long grain rice. Half cup of urad dal. Quarter cup of chana dal or tur dal can be used, but I'm taking mix of chana dal and tur dal. A teaspoon of fenugreek seeds, methi dana. And here I have thick poha, beaten rice. If you don't have poha, you can use cooked rice. Poha takes 10 to 15 minutes only to get soft, so I will be soaking poha prior to making dosa batter. Mix everything and wash really well until water runs clear. So here I have washed everything really well. Cover and let it soak for at least 4 to 6 hours or an overnight. It's been more than 8 hours. Rice and lentils have been soaking and they have become soft, swollen as you can see. Drain out water and now use fresh water as needed to grind rice and lentils. But before you start grinding, be sure to remember poha. Here I have half cup of thick poha. Wash really well and soak for about 15 minutes, or you can use cooked rice. Wash and soak with just a little amount of water. In about 15 minutes, poha will get soft like this and fluffy. Mix with other ingredients and now ready to grind. Into the blender cup, add soaked ingredients. Water as needed. Do not add too much of water. And grind to a smooth paste. Take out the batter into the bowl. Look at how smooth it is. Not too smooth, but good enough to prepare crispy dosa. So I'm going to grind remaining ingredients. Now at this time I add only sugar. Here I have less than teaspoon of sugar. Sugar helps to ferment the batter really well, so you can add or you can leave it out, but do not add salt until the batter is well fermented. I usually add salt before making dosa. Give it a good mix. And this is how the batter is. Not too thick, not too thin, just perfect. Cover and let it ferment for about 6 to 8 hours or an overnight. Preparing dosa batter is very simple and easy, but it requires a little bit of pre-planning. For preparing the traditional batter, you have to start processing few hours ahead. It takes about 4 to 6 hours to soak the rice and lentils, then grind to a smooth paste, and then again allow it to ferment for another 6 to 8 hours. Now that once I have the dosa batter ready, I use my oven to keep the batter. It is not necessary to turn on the oven. Sometimes I turn on the light in the oven to speed up the process of fermentation. It may not help a lot, but it does help a little bit. Basically, the key is to keep the batter in a warm area of the house. The batter has been fermenting for more than 8 hours, and as you can see, the look of it shows me that it is well fermented batter. Now when ready to make dosas, add salt, namak as per your taste. The batter is very light and fluffy, perfect to make yummy, crispy dosas. Look at it. The bubbles in the batter also suggest that it is well fermented batter. Look at this. And now ready to prepare dosas. Once you have the basic batter ready, you can refrigerate for up to a week or freeze for up to 3 months. The batter stays really well into the refrigerator for up to a week or even 2 weeks, but I usually prefer to finish in about a week. Now here I usually store into the container like this. You can basically use any kind of a container, but make sure that your container is not full, because sometimes what happens is that the batter keeps on fermenting even in the refrigerator, and you don't want that to be overflowed in your refrigerator. So I always use the bigger container than I need. I mean, right now you can see that I just have a batter up till here, but I have used this big container. Now, I mean, the batter was up till here, but I used some of the batter today. So I always prefer to have at least this amount of space into the container, just to be on a safe side. So I think I shared almost all the tips. I mean, you can always visit my website for many other tips and tricks in the kitchen. Now when ready to prepare dosa, heat up the tawa on a high heat in the beginning, and once you start making dosa, you can keep the temperature between medium to high in order to cook dosa properly. And I would say practice makes perfect when it comes to making dosa and even roti or chapatis. So let's get started. When the tawa is nice and hot, sprinkle cold water. As you can see, it sizzles. So wipe it and quickly spread the batter. Using the back of a ladle and very light but evenly smear the batter in circles, spreading it outward as thin as possible. Imagine that you are drawing a spiral beginning with a point at the center of the griddle. Too light a pressure on the ladle will result in thicker dosa, so be sure to apply little pressure while spreading the dosa batter. The biggest dosa. Bring down the temperature on a medium now, and if desired, smear ghee, oil or butter, or you can make without any of this fat even, but I prefer to spread ghee to smooth the pan a little bit around and let dosa cook. The first dosa I'm just going to make without any stuffing. I mean, you can serve the stuffing on the side as well, but I'm just going to show you plain first. When you see the brown on top, dosa is ready. You can cook on the other side if the dosa is thick, or you can just start spreading your stuffing however you like. Since this dosa is a bit of a thick, I'm going to flip on the other side, and look at this. This is the ring that I want to see. When you spread the batter, it depends on how you spread the batter. So I really love the color and everything of this dosa. As you can see, doesn't it look like restaurant style? I would say actually better than restaurant. I usually prefer to make thin and a little smaller dosa, so that way they are like nice and crunchy. When the other side is also a little bit brown, you can just roll dosa. Be very careful, it's hot. And look at this dosa. You can take out into the flat plate like this. Look at this big giant dosa. Or you can prepare the dosa tray like this. Prepare the remaining dosas the same way. Onion can be rubbed to prevent sticking dosa batter to the pan. Pan is already hot. Sprinkle water. Wipe it. and spread the batter. Again, the same procedure. Alright, so the dosa is ready. Look at this. Every dosa comes out just perfect. All it needs is some practice. So just fold in however you like. Alright, and this dosa I'm going to take out into the dosa plate I have prepared here with sambar and chutney. Look at this. And I'm going to prepare the remaining dosas. Once you learn making dosas, trust me, you will want to make them again and again. For this dosa, I'm going to use my aloo masala stuffing. Look at this, looks yummy. And now have fun making dosas with variety of stuffing. You can also spread spicy chutney on it, stuff dosas with cheese and spring onion, potato stuffing, aloo, and some cheese jalapeno dosas are popular in my family as well. Look at these yummy looking dosas. Don't you think they're better than restaurant? So do try to make at home. If you have any questions, concerns, you can always come and see me on YouTube and ask any questions you have, whatever the problems you are facing while making dosas. I will be more than happy to assist you with anything that I can do from my end. If you make thin dosas, they will be really crispy. Look at this one. Hope you can hear. And look at this. Making dosa is actually an art. Over the period of times, I have learned by few mistakes. The perfect fermented batter is the key to prepare the perfect dosa texture. The second thing is the tawa, known as basically the non-stick pan. I have this heavy gauge aluminum, chemical-free coated non-stick pan specifically made for dosa. As far as I know, there are like a couple of brands that make, Prestige, Premier. This one is Nirali. I know one more. It's Vinod, I think. So something similar to like this or whatever non-stick pan you have. But I noticed that the coating actually makes the difference, the way the color and the texture of dosa turns out to be. So I recommend the cast iron, iron kind of a material, the non-stick material. This tawa I have been using for 10 years now. You can imagine, like no chipping, no nothing, works great every time. It has bent a little bit while I was, bringing from India, but other than that, it's been 10 years now, and as you can see, it's still in a great condition. So for a perfect making dosa, there are two main things, the batter and the tawa. The third thing I would say is that spreading the batter, that's an art. When I said, preparing dosa is an art, here is where you will learn something. When you want to spread the batter, the temperature of the tawa has to be a little lower. If your tawa is really hot, you can't spread because the batter will just stick in one spot. You want to spread it nicely. So the temperature of the tawa has to be down, and that's the reason, you might have seen a lot of vendors, even on the street, they sprinkle cold water on the tawa, it sizzles, they wipe it down, and then spread the batter. So by that time, the temperature of the tawa is a little lower, so the batter can be spreaded nicely. That's very important. What I normally do, because I make dosa almost every week, yes, these days it's on our like almost every week menu, dosa, idli, uttapam. So what I normally do, I just take the tawa under the sink tap, just pour the cold water, bring it back, wipe it, and spread the batter. So I want to make sure that the temperature of the tawa is nice and not hot. So that's what I do. But if you don't want to keep on running to your sink, keep the cold water and the rag or the kitchen towel or whatever to wipe it quickly. So those are the two things you will need to clean the tawa every time. And now let me tell you, you have to follow that procedure before making every single dosa. A lot of time you would think that's a lot of work, but once you get all these things on your hand, trust me, it's a lot of fun. And I wanted to say, when it comes to batter, is like dosa batter is very versatile. It allows to make dosa, idli, uttapam. I also make the dosa vada. I just make the balls of leftover sabji, the aloo sabji, and then use that batter to dip that balls in and fry. So that's called dosa vada. Tastes amazing. It's like could be a great appetizer. If you have prepared the dosa batter that is not working really well for you, go for that recipe, dosa vada. So I prefer to keep actually the batter in my refrigerator so that I can make variety of recipes for my boys even. My boys really love dosa anytime. So I keep the batter in the refrigerator. Please do like and comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for new recipe videos every week. You can visit my website bhavnaskitchen.com for new tips, tricks and ideas in the kitchen. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Pinterest. Bhavna's Kitchen is everywhere. You can also download Bhavna's Kitchen apps totally free on your iOS, Android and many other devices. Thanks for watching and see you soon.